Everybody, what's up? Welcome back to my channel. So today we have another great video on people talking about transgender people, especially the trans women. Trans women get a special shout out. And somebody sent this into my email. If you guys have anything you want me to react to, you can send it to this email right here, which is samlooklol@gmail.com. Anyways, our good friend Piers Morgan has a YouTube channel and it's called Piers Morgan Uncensored. So this video is titled, "You're not a woman just because you got surgery. Macy Gray on transgender identity," which I thought was really funny because it's a 12-minute interview and actually they only talk about trans people for about 3 minutes, but you have to do what you have to do to get the clicks. Anyways, throughout this interview, they talk about racism in America and freedom and then her love life. Piers Morgan slips in the transgender thing because he always has to.
You know, it's very personal how you feel about other people, you know. Like we could have a conversation about how you feel about women, you know. And there would be so many things that went into that, you know.
I mean, we're in an era now, Macy, where you can't, most public figures are too terrified to even say what they think a woman is.
I know.
I mean, well, if I asked you what a woman is, what would you say?
Piers Morgan has to pierce a little question in there just to get her started.
If I asked you what a woman is, what would you say?
Let's say a human being with boobs. You have to start there.
Yeah, I mean, the dictionary is quite straightforward. It just says a human, adult, female, right?
Ah, the classic. Yes, women are and men are and. Now, if you don't have one of either of those particular things, are you half a woman? Half a man?
No, a lot of people. Yeah, see, that's a little getting confusing. The whole he, she, they. That's getting a little.
And I'm not sure why really.
It's getting a little confusing, getting a little bad. It's really not that confusing. I think people just like to make it confusing. If someone is like, "Hi, I go by George now, and I go by he, him." It's very straightforward. Like I said, for the millionth time, we use they when referring to a singular person so many times that we don't even notice it. Oh, that person left their wallet over there. Oh, that person forgot to pay for their groceries. We do use it more often than we think. And it is an adjustment for people, and I'm not going to pretend that it's not, but it's really not as difficult as people say it is. But then you'll have people saying, "You can't force me to use your pronouns or call you what you want me to call you." Like, okay, but when you go and meet a new coworker when you're working, and he's like, "Hi, I'm Steve." You're like, "Oh yeah, that's Steve," and he's really cool. That's your new coworker, Steve, and he's telling you who he is. So it's the same with a trans person.
It's a bit like this whole issue of transgenders in sport.
The transgenders. How will we ever make it through this world with the bloody transgenders?
I support all trans rights to fairness and equality.
Me too.
But not where you have people born to obvious physical superior bodies.
Me too.
Transitioning and then thrashing the women at their sport.
I totally agree.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and pretend that I know everything about transgender people in sports because I don't. There have been plenty of instances and plenty of times where trans people have been in sports and they have lost. But as soon as a trans person wins, it's the end of the world, and then they're taking over sports and they're ruining them. Well, newsflash for you, we ruin everything we do.
And I will say this, and everybody's going to hate me, but as a woman, just because you go change your parts doesn't make you a woman.
Right.
Sorry.
You feel that?
I know that for a fact.
Ooh, so controversial. This is such a classic line and everybody likes to use this, which I think is really funny. But the thing is, we know. I'm aware that I was born female, but then I can have surgeries to change things like that. I know that it doesn't change the way that I was born. I'm aware of that. But we can do those things to make ourselves more comfortable. And then once we transition, society does see us as the opposite gender.
Like if you want me to call you a her, I will. Because that's what you want. But that doesn't make you a woman just because I call you a her and just because you got a surgery.
So then why are you complaining about it? This is the thing that I just don't understand. So if you're going to respect me and you're going to be like, "Oh, that's Sam, he's really cool," why are you even saying any of that? Why are you even talking about how I'm not really a man? Because at the end of the day, you're still respecting me. What are you trying to hide? Macy Gray. These are the types of people that I specifically do not understand, because you'll have like actual transphobes who will say what she just said and say, "You'll never be a man or a woman and I won't respect you," and they kind of stand behind that opinion and they won't respect me and they won't call me he. You should either just go full throttle or don't go throttle at all.
Because people do feel that there's biological sex and then there's gender identity, that you can identify as whatever you like
in terms
of a gender, right? That's the freedom we live in.
Absolutely.
But actually you can't change the mechanics of biological sex. They are what they are.
All right. If you have surgery, you are changing the mechanics of what you have. I feel like I'm teaching a fucking 0-year-old, to be honest. If you get a made and formed to you, that's going to function as a So that doesn't make any sense. If you get boob implants, your chest is not functioning the same as it used to. When you run, you're going to look like the anime girls. It's a whole different mechanic.
Well, just like women go through just a completely unique experience, and surgery or finding yourself doesn't change that. Being a little girl is a whole epic book, and you can't have that just because you want to be a woman.
That doesn't even make any sense. Trans women aren't trying to have periods and give birth. They're just trying to be women. Also, if you do transition at a young age, you are going to go through society and life as a young girl or a young boy if you transition young. So they will have the same experiences as their peers. Maybe not physically, but socially they will. And also, who cares? Trans women are well aware that they can't have periods or give birth. They're not trying to take that from you. They don't think that they can do that.
I mean, that when people like JK Rowling have said this, they get attacked, they get abused.
Yeah.
The cancel culture mob comes from me. She gets called transphobic and so on. You might get the same for saying it.
Yeah, I mean, that's a little dramatic. People have gone after JK Rowling for the things she said, but it's not like she ever said anything bad about trans people. It's not like she ever put them down. It's not like she lied about them or talked down about them or anything of that nature. She's never said anything negative about trans people, to be honest. Everything she said has been very genuine and very sweet and caring, and I would feel very comfortable being around her, understanding how she thinks about trans people and the way she talks about trans people, even on her public platform.
But it's the truth. And I don't think you should be called transphobic just because you don't agree with, there's a lot of,
Transphobe? I'm just joking. I think there's a difference between a transphobe and a person who doesn't understand trans people. Piers Morgan also just straight up brought this onto her, so whatever. I mean, she knows what she's getting into going on a Piers Morgan show. Maybe I'm giving her too much credit, I don't know.
Judgment and throwing, stones at people for just saying what it is, you know what I mean?
No, there's a difference between saying what it is and actually being just a piece of shit and discriminating against people. Believe it or not, there is a difference. And majority of the time, it's not just a harmless opinion. It actually affects people's rights. So, yeah, that's what that is. And that's the end, by the way. That was the whole thing, and that's what he decided to base the title off of, because we are so popular and we get the clicks. Anyways, let's look at these comments, because to me, the comments are always the best part of the video, because they're always so bad. I mean, mine are pretty bad because you guys tell the worst jokes, but this is a little worse. I am a trans woman, and found absolutely nothing wrong with what she said. I don't understand why my community tries to crucify people who speak their minds and try to live in their truth just as much as us. No matter what I've done to become more feminine, I was never born a woman. I believe in respect for all and will always protect both women and trans. I want to thank Macy Gray for calling me her and she out of respect when she doesn't have to. This is a sign of maturity and mutual respect that some will never give, and I just want to let you and Pierce know that. Big Jazz signing out. This is Blair White on a burner. What really did it for me is when she said, I want to thank Macy Gray for calling me her and she out of respect when she doesn't have to. That is the bar, Jasmine. Like, you don't have to put somebody on a pedestal. Respect is a basic human decency thing, and everybody should respect everybody, regardless of what they look like, who they are. Respect is literally just a base kit. That is just a normal thing. Do not put people on a pedestal for that. I don't know what's the problem. I totally agree with her, and I'm definitely not transphobic. This world is way too sensitive. Thank you, Macy, for not backtracking just to please the cancel culture crybabies. That's a fucking tongue twister. The cancel culture crybabies. This is what bravery looks like. Speaking the truth, even when you know you'll be attacked. I wouldn't really say that's brave. I would say it's a little bit more ignorant, and it's not the truth. It's just an opinion. Opinions aren't always the truth. Being created a female. The epoch experience of being a little girl, developing into a teenager, experiencing menstruation, having a baby, the stress of having to get a biopsy on your female parts. We earned that. Y'all didn't. I like how this person just explained the basics of being a female and then also threw in the stress of having to get a biopsy on your female parts as if males don't experience that. We get it. You had a biopsy on your Alright, wow, congratulations. Sticks and stones may break my bones. I will not be intimidated. This is a Facebook status. This is making me think of grandma's Facebook status. This is something I always wonder. How does someone know what being the opposite gender is like when you've never experienced it? How can you feel like something you've never been? I think some non-binary and trans people have a fantasy of what being the opposite gender is like based on stereotypes. I'm not saying there are no legit cases. Cases of transgenders. He's got a case of the transgender. The fact is, I was born as a woman. I grew up in that role. This is who I am. I gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. and that is who she is. No man wanting to be a woman can claim that and take that away from us. If you want to, I'll call you a trans woman, because that is what you are. You can wear your crown as a trans woman, and be proud of that, and I will stand behind you and fight for your rights with you. But I will wear my own crown as a born and raised proud woman, and no one will take that from me. Do you think trans women are just gonna come and steal your womanhood? Is that what this is about? Nobody's taking any of that from you. You already experienced that. Like, that is ingrained in you, and you went through that experience. There is actually no possible way that that can be taken from you. Being a little girl is a whole epic book, and you can't have that just because you want to be a woman. You can say that again. My childhood wasn't dressing up in pink clothes and copying makeup tutorials on YouTube. I love being a woman, but my life wasn't glamorous at all. Males who want to be women do not understand that. They want the good time, phony parts they see on TV, but don't realize how nerve-wracking and complicated life as a young girl can be. Like, why do these people think that trans women are trying to steal anything from them? That doesn't make any sense. Life as a young boy can be very hard as well. There's lots of pressure put on both girls and boys in different ways. Anyways, that was actually the last comment. I didn't even realize that. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I had a lot of fun doing this, and I'll see you next week with a new video. Bye.